Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dice with Death.
Plunge.
Plunge. We're plunging, if you guys can't tell.
Yeah, it happens. All right.
Did I hear you say before we went to break that we were going to be rolling initiative?
We are. Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay.
And maybe cue some exciting music or something.
Yeah.
Shit's going down.
Can I know the nature of the initiative so I know what I should be doing? Are people drawing weapons? Or?
I don't think so. This will sort of be how you react. If you win, maybe I'll describe what you spot. So you do get the jump on them. You aren't surprised. You failed your deception check before. These are dwarves. Yeah. I think you get the sense that something's up. Why don't you roll perception one more time, and we'll see if you can pass. I'll have you spot something.
26. Here we go.
Yeah. You spot the commotion of a dwarf clambering up on top of a crate to your left. And like getting into position, and you see the salesman, the arms dealer, sort of looking side to side conspiratorially.
Is the guy getting on the crate on my left armed?
You can't see necessarily. He's on top of a crate, and I guess you're acting before.
Okay. So yeah. I would like my action to be getting into place behind him, or beside him. So kind of like if I'm near the front, and the guard is before me, and the dwarf is on the other side of him, and it's to my left, which would be the non-ocean side, that the guy's getting on some crates. I want to like slink backwards away from this altercation, and then like see if I can't scoot to the left to get near
there
this
isn't
guy.
Really a backward. That's like out the door, maybe onto the docks.
I see.
You could probably squeeze between like the door and the crates, but that'd be like squeezing.
Yeah, can I squeeze between the door and the crates and get behind where this guy would be?
You can do that. He's like up on the crate, so maybe if you roll a quick climbing check, you can do all of this. If you fail, I think it'll just be too much to accomplish before shit hits the fan.
My climb check is just a flat 10, unless there's a modifier for anything.
Potentially, let's just roll it. I'll probably just have you roll it flat unless there's particularly egregious circumstances.
15.
So how does this fail? You're not going to be able to do like, so you squeeze between the crate and the box.
I think it's just tough going, like.
Yeah, and the guard turns to like look at you and like be like, huh? But I think you slip away.
Yeah. And
then like you like jump to grip on the box, and you like can't quite pull off the pull up in time. And the dwarf on top. And then maybe like by the time before you would have been able to climb up and finish your action, the dwarf on top leaps off and brings a hammer down against the guard.
Ooh. Yeah.
Missing, but by now you're on the wrong side of the box. There's a sound, or a grunt and a smash as the box, maybe this further adds to your failed climb check, the box lurches at this point like towards you a couple of feet and shakes.
Let's see. Well, I guess I don't make it behind him, so I'm stuck between a box and a box, or a box and a wall, as the guard is being assaulted by
something
dwarves.
Like that. Yeah.
Alright. Well, let me know when I roll initiative again. And tell me what happens. Paint me a word picture, Ryan.
You can act at the end of your turn.
Okay, well, if I am now squeezed between these crates, I want to squeeze... Is the guard unconscious?
No.
No?
You come around and you circle around the crate to see the guard pinned up against the box, the far side of the crate, with a dwarf sort of bracing him against the box, and the salesman walking towards having retrieved an axe from somewhere in the back of the warehouse. If you got a quick action, you can do that. Otherwise, maybe we'll roll initiative again.
Yeah, I want to just get up on.
The guard
some
is
of
shouting,
these.
like, "What's the meaning of this? You'll rot in a cell for this."
I want to hop up onto one of these crates that the dwarf might have been on. So I've done a super rough sketch over here of what maybe in my brain this might look like if this is the entrance to the warehouse. And these are like the crates on the left side. Maybe I've like squeezed down through here, and now I want to like hop up onto this crate and observe the violence from over here. And if it's looking like I need to hop in, then I can use this as a vantage point to attack.
Okay.
And if it's
so
looking like it's cool,
so
I'm gonna
I was
hide.
imagining you went back where you started, but it sounds like you circled around back, and you're like peering over just like a 5-foot box. You failed your climb check, so you aren't able to get on top of it this round. But you're hiding behind this box, watching as we roll for initiative next round. You go ahead and declare actions.
I will try and just climb onto the box again. An 11 initiative.
Ooh. There's quite a struggle going on. The guard is continuing to yell, fights his way, or pushes back, but the dwarf just holds strong. Crazy strength checks going on over there. Third dwarf goes to start lowering the door to the warehouse. This all happens, I think, before you go. And then we'll see what happens as the salesman approaches with a battle axe. I think there's a thunk as he misses with the battle axe and just smacks into the crate. And Selkie can go.
I guess I will climb to the top of the crate, and I will try to... How many dwarves are fighting the guard right now?
There's 2 on the guard. One has the guard pinned. One has an axe. And then a third is lowering the warehouse, closing the warehouse doors.
So I want to climb onto the crate and WWF it off of the crate and onto the guy with the axe to knock him out of the way of attacking the guard. It's WWE now.
Yeah, you're gonna make a climbing check to try and do this as part of your movement.
19, unless there's a modifier for...
Yeah, I think there's a
boxes being
modifier. I'm not
easy.
going to ban it, but I think you like slip, and that becomes your turn, like maneuvering on top of the box.
Okay.
You'll have to roll initiative again. So you get yourself into position, and then...
Good. I want to stay out of the fight as much as possible. If the man with the axe actually hits the guard, then that's when I throw myself at him.
Yeah. So are you drawing any weapons or anything, or are you just watching from atop?
No, no weapons.
Okay. All right. You can roll initiative.
All right. 1d10 plus 3. This is the ready to throw myself at the guy with the axe if he starts attacking the guard. I won't have murder on my hands.
That's slow. Let's see about these dwarves. Oh yeah, he's held as well. So the axe strikes home. Let's see the damage. He nicks the guard with his axe. Cries out, and then there's a as the warehouse doors slam shut, shrouding this scene in dimness.
I'm ready to hop on in.
Make an action if you'd like.
All right, Selkie does the running leap off of the boxes and tries to like land. I think it's gonna be a face first tackle onto the dwarf with the axe. So 1d20 plus 0.
I think we'll treat that. Yeah. I think. Oh, let's treat this as a charge.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. I throw myself at the dwarf with the axe.
Is this just like a tackle, or is this a dagger?
This is a tackle. This is just like knock him off of the guy with the, knock him off of the guard. Try and de-escalate the situation.
He butchers his strength check. So you just nail him. Make a strength check.
28.
You can include your charge bonus.
20, 30.
You just
30
like
then.
you just suplex him. So you flying leap off the box, bring the dwarf down. His axe goes clattering to the side.
Yes.
He lands prone. You on top of him. Hell. Roll initiative.
10 plus 3.
Selkie's first. Everyone's sort of baffled to see you join the fray.
I will. The guard is presently knocked down, being grappled, right? Tackled?
No, the guard is up, held against a crate. You have knocked down the dwarf and grappled him.
So what I want to do next is I want to trip the guy who's pushing the guard up against a wall. So I want to knock him down. I want to kick his feet out from underneath him or rip him off the guard. I want to free the guard and then run away. That's the plan. So maybe a opposed strength check to try and like kick the feet out from the guy.
It's a roll to hit first, and then I'm wondering if you can I don't know if you can hold the one guy down while tripping another.
No, I've knocked this guy down. My plan was just to get up and knock the other guy down and then run for it.
Okay, so if you want to just give it up, I think a dex check would be required to do both, to keep this guy pinned and then while tripping.
I'm content to not keep this guy pinned. I'm expecting that I will be able to take my move before he stands. So attempt to knock one guy down, and whether it succeeds or fails, Selkie's running.
Okay, so make your attack roll.
1d20. I can approach him from behind if he's pushing the guy against
this
the
is
wall,
back
right?
attack. Yeah,
Okay.
Back attack.
Wow, 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Strength check plus back attack on it. Would be a 25. 23 without the back attack.
I don't think you'd get a back attack, but it's fine. You trip him. He falls as well. You got two grounded dwarfs.
I grab the guard by the wrist and say, "Let's get out of here!" And I look for a window, and if there's no window, then I guess we just move to the door, which is shut.
The windows are high. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Which door do you go towards?
The closest door, the one that's just been closed.
Which is closed. Yeah, the big warehouse double door. There's like a chain mechanism next to it. If you had been quicker on your feet, I would have let the guard switch initiatives to your initiative and let the two of you make a getaway. Mm-hmm. But I think you like turn, your exit's blocked. You look up and the windows are at like ceiling level, and there's a dwarf coming right at you from the door. I think at this point you're in front. You've got your hand on the guard's wrist.
Yeah, I'm
trying. The dwarf's coming for you.
Definitely. Okay, I can see that. Because I'm leaving
wearing
the guard
leather
out.
armor now, aren't you?
I am.
All right. Lucky you. I guess you've also got dex.
I have 15
he
AC
swings a
in my armor.
warhammer or a hammer at you and misses.
I yell at the guard, "Open the door! Open the door!" I'll save the rest of my movement for getting out of the door.
Let's see. He shouts, "Go for go for the door!" And he points to like a staircase door.
Okay.
like a raised platform, which was the door you came in the first time.
Okay, I will go for that door.
You can't move without provoking OAs, though. But the guard is going to step in and draw his sidearm and attempt to cover you or engage in combat with this dwarf or something. Maybe I'll roll a check to see if he gets an action on his turn, because he was originally like rolling to break himself out of the hold. You broke him. He doesn't do well on his deck check. He gets a sword drawn. He moves to cover you, and like points you towards the door. But we're rolling initiative.
All right. 1d10 plus 3, 6.
All right, you go first.
Okay. So there's a door on a raised platform, which is the one that we came in. And if
That's the one you came in. The standard size door that you came in. It's about 5 feet up from where you are. That's where you came to buy the armor.
Right.
And then at ground level is this big double door for wagon entry.
And is there a staircase or like a ramp or something that goes up to the...
Yeah, it's like a small flight of stairs that goes up to it. Yeah.
Right. So I would like to disengage and head up that way. I'm a little worried about leaving this guard to fend for himself. Does it look like... what his initiative is? Can we move together? I don't want to leave him behind. So can I delay my turn until the guard's turn and then take him with me and say, let's get out of here and disengage and drag him along?
You could try. I think you may risk the dwarves getting the jump on you in that case.
I will take that risk. That is an acceptable risk to me.
Okay. Well, the guard goes for, oh, wow. And he crits a dwarf.
I'll start tugging on him as he's critting the dwarf.
Hardy dwarf. So okay, it is a crit. Let me, I did roll up damage.
Get out of here!
The dwarf is still standing, but he takes stab from a short sword. And then the 2 dwarves on the ground scramble to their feet, and the 3rd dwarf returns fire. And I don't know where you are in all of this mix, but I think you're getting caught in the fray.
I'm trying to keep low and out of the way, but I'll take attacks if they come my way. Tugging on the guard. Let's get out of here!
Does a warhammer deal, or a hammer in general? Master weapons table. Warhammer is a D4 plus 1. Oh, hammer comes down, cracking in the guard's helmet, and he drops.
Well, that's my cue. I'm leaving without him then. That's my cue.
All right, are you withdrawing out the door?
Yes, I will disengage, withdraw, whatever you want to call it. And
I don't think you can do it, because you waited. Now the 2 dwarves are on their feet, taking their turn. And if you're backing away, you've got a couple of dwarves coming after you.
Nice dwarves.
AC 15?
AC 15.
Yeah. You take a battle axe. Yeah, let's...
Loki's gonna be fine. Don't worry. She's got HP.
What's your HP? Oh, we did
bullshit HP, so I got 10.
Yeah. That's good, too, because you take a max damage axe hit.
8?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
You take a battle axe as you, I think, just get out the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's locked, but it's locked from the inside. I think it's at this time you're fumbling with the lock that you take an axe. An axe blow to the back. And then withdraw out the warehouse. It was locked. You're able to unlock it, like undo the deadbolt.
Oh, it was locked on this side. It's not like a pick lock, just like a undo the bolt, open the door, slip out. Okay. Then I will run through the city streets, hopefully faster than a dwarf.
You're not. I mean, withdrawing, you're not. But you. I mean, yeah, you escape, and they don't pursue.
Okay.
And you enter the daylight, panicked and bloodied, to the sidelong glances of people on the docks. Like, who's this crazy person running through the streets screaming?
Yeah. Well, I will bolt into the docks until it feels clear and safe, and then slow my pace a little bit and start looking for the guard that guard was with, which I think was way down on the other side of the dock. There was the guy with the dwarf with the chainmail glove that he was accusing of forgery. So I want to run that way and let the other guard know what's happened.
Okay. All right. All of this is taken. That was probably what, like 4 combat rounds plus a few minutes there and back.
Yeah, it's
been a good
maybe?
probably 15, 20 minutes, but I think they'll still be there by the time you get back. You'll return to the scene to find the 2 dock workers restrained, sitting on the ground, and several guards milling about.
I will come holding my hand over my giant axe wound and trying to get the attention of the guards while I bleed all over the place. Guards! Guards!
And they turn as you approach.
Seymour!
And then there's that's her.
Hacked. Or whatever his name was. He didn't give me his name.
Silas. That's
Silas.
What happened to you? And
the dwarves.
One goes take a look.
I point hurriedly down the walkway. The dwarves at the warehouse, they attacked him. I think he's dead. Dead, I said. Dead.
They're like looking you up, inspecting your wounds. There are several other guards here now. A couple generic town guards with open-faced bucket helms and leather. And then a new figure in a orange flowing robe with a full helm that appears to be made of some sort of stone. That must be just unwieldily heavy.
God. I continue pointing, holding my wound. Look, axe, dwarf, that way.
The first guard turns to the orange-robed figure and says, "This is her. This was the witness." And he steps forward. Let's see if we've got anything useful here. What? Proficiencies are missing. Oh well, it's fine. All right. So he comes and puts a gloved hand on your wound on your back. And just inspects. I know the place. I know the place, he says through his helm. Take care of these 2, he says to one of the ordinary guards. And this one. And he nods to you. Come. And he gestures to the other helmed knight. And the 2 of them walk down the docks.
I will lead them that far. I will lead them to the.
Stay with the guards. They'll look after you.
Oh, okay. I look at these guards that are supposed to look after me. He's referring to the ones that were here with the arrested people, right?
Yeah, there's 3 of them. They're wearing leather armor with metal bucket helms. They have cudgels at their sides, and yeah. City guard, city watch.
I will watch them for a moment, and as the people who go off to the warehouse walk down the street, I will just follow them. I'm more interested in the happenings at the warehouse. Although this time I'm going to stay away. I'm not going to get in fighting. I'm almost dead.
Do you do this in any particular way?
Yeah, I'll watch those people walk away, and then look back at the regular street guards.
They drool. One of them has like a snot bubble blowing out of his nostril.
I look back at the cool guards that are going to go and investigate the warehouse.
Their capes billow in the wind.
I look back to the street guards and then just walk away. Do.
Wait just a second there, miss. And there's a hand clasp on your shoulder.
Yes?
You're to stay with us.
I need to go see to my wound getting healed. It's terrible.
We'll take care of that. Don't you worry.
Look, there's a peasant who's not being oppressed. Look. And then I'll try and bolt if he looks. He doesn't. I guess I'm just stuck
make
here.
Make an initiative roll, I guess. Oh, yeah.
D10 plus 3, 6.
Yeah. All right. It works. You take off running down the docks. I think initiative is enough. You escape into the crowd and leave these guards in the dust. You'll probably pretty quickly catch up with the knights.
I'm gonna keep a good 80 feet behind them or something. I want to be a witness to the events, but I don't want to be in axe range. So I will follow behind with a readied action to run away if any danger approaches me. What happens?
Let's see. So, how far back do you stay?
80 feet.
80 feet. All right, that is a pretty good ways. Okay. So you will follow the guards as they make their way down the docks.
Yep, I will.
Yeah.
Did they get back to the warehouse?
They do. Yeah, they walk straight to it. As the leader said, he knows the place. Mm-hmm. And they approach the now sealed up warehouse. Maybe just a minute or so ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you see them approach the staircase.
Uh-huh.
And knock on it. Wait. Yep. And you stay some distance away.
Yeah, keeping a good distance.
Yeah. They look back and they look around. The knocking stops. And they proceed to start attempting to bash down the door. The sound effects are killing me. All right. Roll a perception check.
All right. 1d20 plus 13, 22.
All right. This process, it's going to wind up taking them about 5 minutes to get the door down. And in this time, you spot a small skiff fleeing this way into the docks with a couple of short, stout figures. Hoods drawn over their head, but certainly dwarven-sized, rowing for their lives away from the warehouse.
I will move to the edge of the water, like all the way to this bit over here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm probably farther back though. So I'll move to like this spot and look out into the water and see if I can't recognize any of the figures in the boat.
They are wearing hoods at this point.
Can I follow the wake of the boat back to where it left the warehouse?
It's just a small rowboat. I mean, yeah, it very clearly came out from the side of the warehouse.
I will
actually right where this ship is pulled up.
Yeah.
But it's just a little rowboat.
A little rowboat like slipped out like that or something.
Yeah.
Then I will pick up a stone or a bit of wood or something that's lying on the dock and chuck it at the guards to try and get their attention, and then point out to the water. I'm going to try and do this soundlessly so as not to alert the dwarves.
Yeah, make a d20 roll. See if you can get their attention before. I think
just throw some pebbles at them.
Yeah. I think it takes too long. So you'll obviously eventually get the guards' attention, but the rowboat curves south. And I don't know, it can probably row like maybe 120 feet a minute.
Right. 120 feet a minute? Okay.
Yeah, so you spotted it somewhere out here. So like by the time you have the guards' attention, it's like rounded this corner.
Okay.
Disappearing from view. You finally manage to smack a guard with a pebble as the other one bashes the front door in. And I think he goes in, like the leader goes into the warehouse. He picks up his large pole arm that he had leaning against the side of the door and enters the warehouse. The second one turns to look at you, and you're like wordlessly like pointing and waving.
Away.
It's hard to see expressions underneath the helm, but it cocks to the side.
Well, what are you gonna do?
And then there's a lean inside and a shout. And I think a minute later, like the what do you call it? The breach crew? I don't know. The guy that bashed the door down, the leader, comes back. And the two guards approach you. And they're like, yeah. What do you see?
They just got in a boat and sailed away. Right there. Went south, past the walls.
Why didn't you say something?
I was trying to get your attention.
Well, damn, they're like peering. They've got their little helmets, little slits. I don't see anything. And by now, I don't think you can see anything either.
Right. Well. I look at these guys sort of disappointedly, like I feel let down by their job, by their quality of their work.
How the man in orange, Mr. Orange, turns to Mr. White and says, go get some reinforcements. Let's search the warehouse. Nods and he takes off. And you're left standing alone with Mr. Orange. How did you get away from the guards?
Well, when they were busy slurping up their drool, and otherwise distracted, I walked away. The other guards aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. The sharpest sword in the sheath.
Out.
You know what I mean?
Out. I wouldn't trust City Watch with a sword. There's a reason they carry cudgels.
Are you
Pretend I didn't say that. Mm-hmm. He nods.
I look on with respect and wonder.
Shiatan, he says, removing a glove from his right hand and extending it.
I will reach out and shake his.
In his left hand, he's leaning against a pole arm that appears to be made of the same stone his helm is made of. It has a curved half-moon blade at each end, and the whole thing appears to be carved from a single piece of stone.
Pretty excited about it. I eagerly shake his hand and say, Selkie. Just Selkie.
That's, he pulls his glove back on. What are you doing getting tangled up in with ruffians like these?
I was buying some armor that I was told was genuine elven leather, and then the guards that you saw earlier were said it was a knockoff, and I was showing them here to the people who sold me the knockoff, and that's when they attacked us. And I tried to get away with the guard, but he got cut down by the dwarves. And I ran and got you, and you know the rest.
Genuine elven leather, he says.
I said.
You disappoint me, Selkie.
Shrink a little under his gaze. What do you mean?
What would your mother think?
Can I make some sort of charisma check to see if this is like just a general expression, or if he is specifically calling out that he might have known?
Yeah.
I'm a little baffled by this. 1d20 plus 12. Maybe not well versed in normal human social situations. A 22 on the charisma.
Was your mother human or your father?
I don't know.
You don't actually know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a turn of phrase. It's not just a turn of phrase. Yeah, but you don't necessarily. Yeah.
Do you know my mother? I stammer.
She was an elf, wasn't she?
How do you know her?
It's written all over your face. You're half-blood.
I am, but I'm not sure if my mother and my father was the elf. Wait, but do you know her? I get closer to the guard.
He shrugs, and he's going to walk away towards the warehouse.
I will follow his footsteps like a duckling after its mother. Wait, hold on. Mr. Shihatan? No, Mr. I forgot your name already.
That you may call me by my name. As in that was right.
Oh, Shihatan was the right name?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the name of the blind samurai that you played?
This guy came first, but
okay.
He turns and says, "You're bleeding." And
that's terrible. But did you know my parents? My mother, my father?
No, of course not. He pauses, looks around, as if weighing his options, and then goes to the warehouse and shuts the door from the outside.
Well, then what did you mean that my mother would be disappointed with me? Are you just saying that I shouldn't be wearing knockoff elven armor? Because in that case, I'm disappointed in myself too.
All right. He begins leading the way, north up the docks, and I think you're just following instinctively, having talking his ear off.
Badgering him with 1,000 questions.
An elf ought to see these things, even half an elf. You,
Well, I'm half an elf, but I don't know these things
and
yet.
yet you were ripped off by dwarven scum.
Well, maybe I need someone to show me the ways.
Traffickers.
Maybe I need someone with your sort of wisdom to show me right from wrong, to teach me what's real and what's not.
The whole city needs someone like me to show them right from wrong.
Well, you can start with me.
Get in line.
You got to start somewhere, right? And I'm sure you could use an apprentice or an assistant.
Come, let's get you healed up.
You know, I have a lot of useful skills. You should have seen it. I knocked out 2 of the dwarves and freed the guard before he decided to stand his ground and get killed, like the fool that he was. Not that you heard me say that. And you could probably use someone who maybe doesn't look like you and who can sneak around. I'm really good at disguising, and I can get into tight spaces, and I decide not to tell him that I'm a spellcaster at this point in time.
Where did you learn these useful skills? Disguises, tight spaces. Sounds like criminal enterprises to me.
Well, it's not. I've never stolen a single thing in my life. But when you know, not everyone gets to grow up in a big castle with lords and ladies and servants. Some of us have to have a harder time with things. And
all right, can you zoom out on the map, and I'll sort of plot out the route that you take?
Yes. Zoomed out.
So he leads you up and over. Maybe I need a better contrasting color than this green that matches, or than this blue that matches the blue of the city roofs. Up and over, winding through the streets near the docks, and then up this large 100-foot marble staircase through the street to the main boulevard, through crowds, the hustle and bustle of the city, up and towards the library of Solstice. Have you ever visited the library?
I've been walking past it for decades, but I've never gone inside.
Really?
It's been maybe a little intimidating.
Yeah. I think that's in the description of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you approach the library. Massive stone building, hundreds of feet in breadth. Main boulevard leads straight towards it, towards the steps of the library. On the front entrance are a whole row of pillars. And as you approach the front entrance, 2 statues look down on you from either side. One a wizened old man, and the other a woman, blindfolded, scales and gavel. Are you at all feeling your wounds, or are you walking of your own volition?
I think that for the moment, the adrenaline of following around this knight who seems to know things, who I'm trying to get in with, is overpowering the pain in my shoulder, which is maybe like a dull throbbing. Yeah, this guy seems interesting, and I could use something to do with my life. And I more or less on the side of right and wrong, and right than wrong. Not quite a paladin, but I'm here to make the world a better place, I think, at least for now. I'll just keep badgering this guy with questions and
yeah, let's see. All right. So he approaches. his helm's kind of tilting side to side. It's hard to tell what he's looking at, or hard to imagine that he can even look at anything through it. But he actually stops short of the library and turns and leads you off to this lawn on the western side of the building. This is the first greenery you've seen since entering the city. Well manicured lawns in the front, and he walks and he sort of leads you over to this hedge line. A row of roses being tended to by a gardener in robes that were white, but now have brown stains going up the sleeves. The knight shouts over, "Eustace!" And he like waves as he approaches. And the gardener comes. "Ah, yes. What is it, Lord Commander?" Keenly aware of you, although probably paying attention to the knight instead. The lady here has taken a wound. I'm hoping you can look after her. And the gardener approaches you.
Hi.
Oh my. You turn to show your back to him, show off the wound. Oh dearie me, that's a deep one. Touches your skin and you sort of twinge at the pain of the wound. Oh my. This looks an axe, he says. Sort of looking
Dwarven if it makes a difference.
No, it doesn't. Just what's a lovely thing like you doing messing around with dwarves?
Like the way he's talking about me. I give him like a flat effect.
Mm-hmm. There are an exchange of looks that go behind your head, literally. Probably weighing whether to treat you the old-fashioned way. But I think given the nature of your wounds, the gardener puts one of his filthy hands on your back. Maybe your anatomy knowledge kicks in. He's like, hey, he should wash his hands first. But you hear him sort of whispering in your ear. Muttering comforting words. Maybe you have a flashing image, similar to when you channel magic, of like childhood visions. Do you have any flashback you'd wanna give, or is it just images of the Elfwood?
I think it is older, like very young memories of being a child and maybe having some sort of like asthma equivalent as a child and having a hard time breathing, and this like patting and rubbing sensation of the whatever caretaker it was watching over me, trying to
and
relax
like,
my muscles and ease up my lungs, and
coming
boiling water nearby.
And coming into your vision, just as you're shaken out of it, is the blurry elven face of your caretaker. And then you snap to it, and you're back in this garden before the library. You realize that an elven prayer was being sort of whispered over your ear.
Look, the gardener with renewed interest.
As you feel like the wound on your back knitting over. You gain 3 HP.
Excellent.
You do speak Elven, correct?
I suppose I do. I haven't written it down, what my languages are.
Hmm.
But if I was raised
Okay.
by my aunt and uncle... Oh, no, I did. I wrote Elven, Common, Dwarven, Thieves' Cant, Nomish, Goblin. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think I've learned Elven. I was taught Elven at a young
Oh, and you
age,
know
perhaps.
spellcraft. Maybe roll a spellcraft check.
So 1d20
I
plus...
probably should have had you roll that beforehand.
14, 27.
Yeah. So it was a cure light wounds spell. So the words were magic, but But you realize now the gardener is an elf. And yeah, maybe it went quickly, and part of it you were sort of in and out in this healing induced trance. But it was just a non-specific prayer to our the Elven Mother of Justice to right these wrongs, undo what went awry.
Right.
Which in this case was the wound. Come with me. Let's get you cleaned up.
Okay.
And the
I will.
let's see. I'm trying to think where. I think we go to one of these buildings here, just beside you.
At me.
Mm-hmm. And sort of he leads you inside. The knight goes to depart, leaving you in the hands of the healer.
The elf is leaving me here with the healer. Or the
healer
knight
is
leaving
elf.
me here with the elf.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. As the knight goes to walk away, I'm gonna pull a 180 and whirl around and follow after the knight, dogging at his heels, being like, "Wait, but what's gonna happen to those dwarves?"
Roll some sort of check to evade the gardener.
I'll dex check to spin out of his grip.
Yeah. So he had like a hand on you, and he was like leading you towards his cottage or whatever to tend to your wounds, ostensibly, and you're like
ducking under the arm and chasing after the knight. Hey, but what about the dwarves that sold me the knockoff armor and that got away and killed the other guard?
That's oh, I had the token already for the knight, but that's fine.
What about them? Are they gonna get away? Don't we have to do something about that?
This is not any of your concern.
Well, why not? It could be.
And as you said, they've already gotten away.
Well, what if they come back? And don't you want to chase after them? They killed the guard.
Which is precisely what I'm going to take care of.
Oh. Do you need help? I bet I would be a great asset to you.
I think you've already done enough.
Are you sure?
Why don't we have you roll a charisma check? See, and add your battle scars. No.
24.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe he will come around to your usefulness, but not immediately or not blatantly. Go with Eustace. Get yourself looked after. If you he pauses and looks you up and down with his helm. Let's see here. Just a second. So roll another spellcraft check.
Plus 30.
I think in future, I would like for you to be declaring this, and maybe in combat, it would be like I feel like it should be an action to spellcraft in combat. Maybe, I don't know. I'm open to discussion, but moving forward, I would like it to be player driven.
Sure.
But so he is casting a spell. It's more clerical magic. So he's praying. Yeah.
Do I recognize the prayers?
And you nailed that perception check. Yeah. So he is. I think for Selkie, it's more innate. Like it's not like your spellcraft it isn't like you've been trained. It's not like you've like studied spells in books and know what spells are being cast in the sign. You more of like feel it in the weave. And because it's targeting you, I think in this case, let me... So I guess it lasts rounds and you could cast it on different creatures. So I'm not sure if you'll know what it is immediately. So I'll tell you what it is, but unless are you trying to interrupt him? I don't think you'll know what it is before you interrupt him.
Well, I won't interrupt him until I know what it is.
Okay. It takes a full round to cast, and then I think you'll probably notice what it is as he's targeting you with it.
Uh-huh.
So he was, praying, and so he's using a no alignment spell.
Oh.
Oh, I guess there's no material components for this, just somatic and verbal. Okay, so that's what it is. What a dick. Yeah. So you you feel the weave of the magic, and it's like when he targets you, you can feel it like tugging at your very soul. He's like probing it and looking into you. And I
think as I realize what he's doing, I'll like slap at him, not aggressively, but as assertively, and say, "Hey, what are you poking around at? Do you have any idea how rude that is?"
So I think by the time you're slapping at him, he's already probed your alignment.
Yeah.
Does he? I don't know. Is there a save? Save negate. So you do get a saving throw.
1d20 greater than 12. Oh, fuck yeah. Success. So I think I'll like slap him just as the spell is wrapping up and sort of like break him from reading me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what are you doing? Do you have any idea how rude it is to cast a spell like that on a person? Might as well let me look through all of your personal possessions. I demand you march me straight up to your room and let me look through your whole office now. Can't believe the nerve of you. Probing my intentions in my mind, trying to read my heart.
He takes a step.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I beg pardon, ma'am, but given your insistence, I think my prudence is warranted.
You could have just had a conversation with me.
He's
resorting to last.
There's many ways to have a conversation. I was merely speaking to your soul. He is roll a perception check. I guess I like to keep dice rolling even if that's not super important, but
27.
Okay. Yeah, he is going for a pouch on his belt or somewhere tucked in his robe. If this interests you. Looks like a small coin purse.
I will try and get a look at the components that he's pulling from him.
It's a small pouch. He's sort of stepping away, but I think you're staying with him. Is that the deal? Mm-hmm.
What was the little boy's name in Jurassic Park? The one that keeps following Grant around?
I can't remember.
But that's the character Selkie's sort of channeling at this point. Just like, and then there was this dinosaur and this dinosaur, and this person says that your book was wrong, and just sort of like following and badgering somewhat.
So he had just said that right, there's more than one way to have a conversation. He was speaking to your soul.
And I was
you said you would I pulled out a pouch. He said you said you would like to see my belongings. And he pours the contents of the pouch into his hand. 4 iron coins jingle into his palm. And he begins twirling them around, hopefully maybe distracting you before you realize he's casting another spell. But
well, let me try and make a spellcraft check to see if I recognize the iron coins as part of a spell component. 33. Whew.
Yeah, so he's casting an Analyze Balance spell.
All right, it's fine.
Do you have an actual alignment noted?
I do not, but if I had to go with an alignment for her, I think at this point it would be true neutral. I think she is neither good nor evil, lawful or chaotic yet.
It's your first session. You haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, her alignment will change probably going forward, but for now,
and there is no save. This is just percentage based, I think.
Yeah.
Not that great. It's a weird spell. I feel like this is a spell that kind of sucks as written. You're kind of at the mercy of your DM giving you more like juicy, like, I don't know, narrative description.
It's not a particularly useful spell.
Like, not mechanically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you say anything as he's like, you said you wanted to see my possessions, and then he pours out these 4 iron hands into his hand and shows them to you, and
observe them. I see him starting
tosses
to cast
them in his hand. He weighs them and moves them from hand to hand, flipping them. Sure.
I do not interrupt the spell. I let it complete.
I think he's removed his
soul.
gloves for this whole ordeal. Eustace, the gardener, is sort of standing out on his porch or whatever, just like 20 feet away, watching this scene unfold.
Yep.
And you are catching some odd glances from people walking on the road over here. I guess you're a good ways off.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I've been looked at funny before.
You are you are strangely out of balance, but I can't quite get a read. He looks you up and down and starts looking at your equipment.
Maybe that's because my soul hasn't been weighed yet. Doesn't have a balance.
Nods appraisingly. Do you have any obvious equipment? Do you have a satchel, book bag?
I still have my folded up old lady's clothes that I'm carrying under my arm, and I have a small notebook in a pocket. Maybe not in a pocket. I've got a notebook and a small writing set. And I think the writing set has a quill and some ink and some ponce and some other things in a small wooden box that folds up nice and neatly. So I've got the book in the box and 2 daggers, my clothes.
The book in a bag.
Yeah, I suppose the book in the box will have to be in a small bag that I carry with me. Maybe like a satchel that goes over one arm, one shoulder. Not even a big bag, just a little bag. Definitely not the weight or carrying capacity of a backpack.
are strangely out of balance. Your soul interferes with fields of magic. Are you a witch? He says, somewhat accusingly.
I am not.
And
Are you a warlock?
he goes to. He notices your satchel. Some might say that. He reaches out for your satchel. Let me see that.
I turn slightly so it's out of reach of him, and I say, only if you promise to take me with you and let me help you deal with these dwarves. Then I'll show you. And I'll answer any questions you have.
Come, we have a body to bury.
I turn
He pauses and looks.
to him
And
so he can grab
you sure you won't let Eustace have another look at you? Have another look at that wound?
Promise not to leave me behind on this.
He sighs. Be quick about it, he shouts so that Eustace can hear. And follows you into the cabin. It's inside. It's a small, or it's not a small, it's a large, like, common use kitchen or something of the sorts. There's lots of tables and knives and stuff, and plants and things around. So it's like, it was it had a lock on the door, but he's since opened it and entered.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like it's not just his, but like, yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
It's a larger.
Yeah, it's not like his personal residence. But he goes and he brings you in. He's got some water boiling. He cleans and bandages your wound. I think unless you press, he's not going to use any more magic on you.
I will not press.
He'll just clean and apply healing, herbalism, whatnot.
Yeah. I will hand my satchel to Shiahatan and let him rifle through it while I'm being inspected. Yeah,
I was not expecting it this soon.
While it was never quite explicitly stated, I feel like he has agreed to let me come along on this stuff by bothering to walk with me and have this guy take a look at me. I feel like there was an unspoken agreement that I can at least tag along. So I'm trying to uphold my end of the bargain and,
Yeah.
So I give him the satchel, let him look through it. It has my writing kit, my notebook, and my blessed leather blanket.
Little blanket. Yeah. He pulls out the notebook and begins looking through it. Does this at all offend you?
I will be watching him rather than paying attention to the man who's tending to my wounds.
That's
but
fine.
It does
your
not
wounds on your back. He rifles through your. Actually, inside he does. So before we get to this, he removes his helm, revealing his face.
Can I get a species on this guy?
Roll a perception check. Well, I don't know how.
Might I not notice his race?
Maybe. I don't know.
Valid. I'll trust you. 27.
Yeah, you nailed it. He is. He's handsome. He takes off his helmet and a full head of long golden hair billows forth down well past his shoulders. His face is chiseled, clean shaven, high cheekbones, and pointed ears. He might be able to pass for a full-blooded elf, but with that perception check, I think you notice just the faintest bit of stubble on his face. He has to shave to keep this look up. So you would peg him for half an elf. His eyes are gray.
As the helmet comes off, there's a low.
He casts a sidelong glance and doesn't say anything, and then he sets the helmet down on the table. Roll another spellcraft check as he begins to rifle through your notebook.
Ooh, botched it.
No, you don't notice anything out of it. You are distracted by his handsome good looks.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were.
Long
And
curly
he
golden hair, gray eyes, chiseled faces, a little bit of stubble, high cheekbones. Oh my
well, there's not a
god.
little. He's clean shaven, but it's like he shaved this morning.
5 o'clock
So
shadow.
yeah, if it weren't for that 27 perception check, you wouldn't even notice the follicles. But he furrows his brow, perturbing his beautiful face as he looks through your notebook, and he says, "What language is this?" And he looks up to you.
Sort of my own shorthand notes, and I will lean over and point to like an odd squiggle that takes up like 3 lines of text and has these blobs coming out of each corner, and be like, "That there's a reminder on how to say it. Bring the weave the magic around me in a spectral, unseen, unfelt sort of magical armor."
You are a witch. You wrote this? I think he says you wrote this first, and then
My hand.
Like, you are a witch.
A witch.
He shuts the book and puts it back in your satchel.
I'm a sorceress. More than a witch.
It's...
Witch is such a... I think you have to be at least 80 years old to be a witch. Not there yet.
With, it's always hard to tell with people like us.
So when are we going after the dwarves?
Come. As I said, we have a body to bury.
I will follow after him.
And he will lead you back to the docks.
All right. We head back down to the same area.
Yeah, you... Not exactly retracing your steps, but close enough. Back to the docks and the warehouse. By the time you return, this place is crawling with guards, city watch, and a few knights.
I look on eagerly and fascinated at the hustle and bustle of these people. Never before has Selkie been a part of any of these things. I've always been like a spectator to the events, and here I find myself finally involved in them. Some small capacity. Did the doctor's tendings to me give it back any additional hit points?
Not immediately. Like I said, unless you pressed, he wasn't going to use any more magic on you. But you've been treated by a proficient healer, herbalist. How much HP were you down?
5 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, I think you'll just recover at an unusual rate over the next couple of days.
Coolio.
Okay. There's a perimeter of city watch outside the warehouse. Stand aside as Shiatan walks past them. And inside, and there are several knights standing vigil over the body of their comrade. His white cloak is laid over his still body.
All right.
And the knight sort of walks and takes a knee and looks under the the robe to verify his identity and all that.
Sneak up close to keep an eye on everything, but I don't say anything or get in the way. But I want eyes on the body too.
He takes he peeks under the robe. The helmet has not been removed. I think it was caved in, so it's like stuck on the head, but there's blood pooling up around it. Puts a hand over it and stands up and looks around. Bring that cart over here, he says, and points to a cart that's in the warehouse.
I will quickly grab the cart and haul it over.
You start moving to it, and you realize that the command was not for you, and like several of actually, I think the other two knights that are here go over and wheel the cart over.
I will attempt to stare them down. I will make myself useful to this person, and he will love me for it.
How would you propose this face-off happens? Like, I was imagining you getting like brushed out of the way by these.
I'm sure they would like to brush me out of the way, but despite my short stature, I still have 13 strength. So as I approach the cart and I see that they're trying to approach it too, I give them a death glare, like the evil eye, and stare them straight in the eyes.
Yeah, I think it would be too awkward for them to stop you, so I guess they let you help pull the cart over.
If they try to assist, I will try and do the thing where like I put my hand uncomfortably close to theirs so it's touching, and if they try and move their hand, I'll slide mine. And like I want to try and take ownership of the cart socially. Can I make a charisma check to evil eye them down?
Close. No, not quite. I think it would be too awkward for them to push you out of the way. So you wind up forcing your way into helping, but you're certainly not in charge. And I think you're like, it's awkward. Like, they're clearly the muscle of the situation. Like, they're moving the cart, but you've got your hands on it.
I'm helping.
Their helmets are still on, so you can't see them staring you down back.
I could only see their eyes. I could stare them down.
The cart is brought over. Its contents discarded on the floor. And the body of the knight is hoisted upon it. You try to push some knights out of the way to grab its feet.
No. They can take care of his body. I'm not going to touch him. But I will do a cursory glance through the contents of this cart to see if there's anything that could be related, anything that might look like it would be a personal possession of somebody's. Anything that could
no
look
personal
like
possession. I think it's just some, I don't know. It's a couple of barrels. With the weight at which they're hoisted out of the cart, they're empty. Maybe a little sloshing of like the last remaining drops of some liquid, but they're empties that have been returned to the warehouse.
Okay. Yeah, I'll peruse them quickly and then move on.
Okay. The body of the knight is laying in the cart. His robe draped back over him. In Elven, Shiaton turns to the other two knights and says, "Come, let us stand vigil." And he picks up the front end of the cart, probably where a donkey would go, but between the three of them, they're able to get the cart moving. He picks it up, they push, and they walk through the streets.
I will follow along. I'm not trying to insert myself into their session, but I'm also not going to let myself be forgotten or left behind. I will be close, quiet.
How would one get a cart up these stairs? Asks the man who made this town.
Great question. How do you get carts upstairs? Maybe there's some
gotta be a ramp somewhere?
Or there's like a set of wagon ruts on one side of the cart that allows for a small, just like, field ramp.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, do you need like a wench at the top to pull stuff up? Incline on the stairs.
I think between the three of them they can push it up, but for like heavier goods, it's a good question. Immersion broken. Right. As the cart proceeds out the warehouse, the Sunblade begins to sing. A haunting elven fugue. Is that the name for a funeral procession?
Dirge?
A dirge. There we go. I don't know that I would. I don't think I want to attempt to sing anything.
You pull out a tuba
low.
And give us a tuba funeral dirge.
A tuba dirge. Trombone's in the other room. Maybe if he botches his singing role, he would. No, he nails it. He's got a beautiful sonorous voice, echoes throughout the docks. It's low and lonely in Elven, which you speak. Yeah, he sings of the loss of this brother. And how he is returning returning to the elf woods from which he came, in sight of the seer, the all-seer.
Right. Well, I will follow along, staying respectful and quiet.
Too sad for mortal ears to comprehend. Yeah. There we go. This is a good song to set the mood. Roll a charisma check to keep from crying.
Plus 12. No.
Does that mean you don't cry and you're inhuman? No, I think you.
I think I recognize,
without meaning to. I think the
melody is a distant melody I remember hearing a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Do we go back to the library?
Yeah, the small funeral procession proceeds, up and out of the dock district. Crowds part, and some sort of gather and follow as it builds into a procession. And yes, you return to the library. And I think this is where we'll leave you. Shiatan will tell you that this next part is, you can't bear witness to this next part. The priests must prepare his body for what's next.
I understand what he's saying, but I'm not super pleased about it, so I'll chew my lip for a moment and then say, I'll be waiting at the rose bushes. I'm gonna wait there until you come back and get me. We go get these dirty orbs.
Tomorrow.
I live a long time, you know.
We'll go after these gangsters tomorrow.
Good.
the knights pick up their fallen comrade and actually, there's a different entrance. Yeah. There's another entrance to the tower over here. Although they probably would have processed down towards the main library. Anyways. So you depart and you wait by the rose bushes.
Yes.
Some hours later, you will see the knights taking their fallen brother, and you maybe catch a glimpse of them out in the back garden.
Mm-hmm. What are they doing in the garden?
Laying the body to rest amongst the trees. They it's hard to tell exactly what ritual is going on, but you see them gathered. They bring the body out and gather in the back garden behind the library.
Well, I guess I'm waiting right here, peering through the rose bushes if I can to try and get any little glimpse of what's happening. But are these measurements to scale?
More or less.
I mean, you've always described it as this massive building.
Yeah.
One thing
it might be
here.
Might be too massive. I don't know.
I guess that there's some scale and some.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, we'll debate scale another time.
Yeah.
Because I think this is where we will end the episode. Selkie peering over the rose hedges, trying to catch a glimpse of this knight's funeral.
We'll end here. It was a different intro than we usually have for our characters. Usually we sort of like hop right into some sort of something going on, and this was a little bit of a prelude more than an actual session. I feel like we got to know some characters without too much happening. Got to check our equipment and investigate ourselves, get some gear.
Yeah,
I like it. I actually like having the episode 1 being like an episode 0 before the story begins.
Maybe. I got to figure out where the story is going to go.
Yeah. Like the breathing. Nice.
Yeah, not quite what I was expecting either. I was hoping we would go somewhere spookier, but didn't quite get there. I just more meant with Halloween coming.
Oh, yeah. Anything Halloween.
You had some undead on Desperate Measures the other day.
Sure, but that's just par for the course. You know, there were spooky, scary skeletons all year round.
Yeah. I was wondering if I might be able to trick you into another Rat Cleaver episode or maybe some spooky pumpkins, but...
Sorry, I was sulking and hiding in the alley.
Skulking or sulking?
Skulking and hiding in the alleyways instead of down in the sewers.
Yeah. Well,
that will be Selkie. We will be back, I do believe, next week with more Dicing with Death.
Probably.
Check the calendar, or
check the stream
schedule in Discord, or the countdown in chat.
Nealbot's dead. There's no countdown. Check back in after Halloween, and zombie Nealbot will answer your needs.
Yeah. Anything to share with the people today, Ryan?
I don't think so. Thanks again to Tom.
Thank you,
Newman.
Mr. Newman.
And 2minutemaps.com for some of the art assets. Check it out.
Yep.
Sport good art.
Yep. Good artist, good art. And that'll be it. I
think
we can...
2minutettabletop.com. Number 2. XP. Do you want some experience?
Yeah. A wee bit.
Not much. It's not much.
That's all right. You can give me as much as you want because it has to be divided between 2 classes, so I will never level.
Oh God, you're never leveling.
So feel free just to throw huge quantities of XP at me.
All right, I'll be generous.
He's a generous god.
Did we really? It was all narrative.
There was a little bit
I'll
of
go
combat.
ahead and give you dwarf XP. Yeah. I might have given the dwarves a +1. I'm trying to figure out whether they were mountain or hill dwarves. But I think they're knockoff mountain dwarves, so it's probably hill dwarf XP. So that's 525 experience.
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2 times 10%, if you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it for both classes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so that's 288.75.
And I think that's probably fine. It's generous to call that a victory in combat. And so I'll just give you that instead of trying to figure out narrative stuff.
Excellent. Well, that will be the end of our session for today. We'll be back next week. There will be some Empires of Arcadia tonight. There will be some of Dice and Men tomorrow. There will be Shenanigans this weekend. There will be Hardcore Heroes this weekend. There will not be Desperate Measures.
That's becoming my favorite show of the moment.
Desperate Measures?
Yeah. It's got that gritty 2E vibe down. It's like Hardcore Heroes. But we didn't kick cast members off the show.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I think that's it.
Go.
We started late, but we ended on time. So
that counts as something. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.